Yo, what's up guys, Megapel here, and I'm back bringing you a Pokemon Showdown replay battle for you guys today. Using the same team I actually used in my last video, the CTC team built around Mega Metagross and Carmine Keldeo. And looking at my opponent's team, he's using a pretty nice looking team, a nice Sun team, which aren't as common these days, but nonetheless let's just get straight on into the battle, shall we? So he's going to actually decide to lead off with his Zard, as I'm actually going to decide to lead off with my Latios. Regardless of what Zard it is, I'm actually going to decide to stay and just go straight for that Draco Meteor, drop the Draco. But unfortunately I miss, as he does prove to be Zard Y. A little strange how he actually stayed in, as looking at it, nothing on his team really appreciates taking a Draco Meteor. He only has one resist being Fortress, which wouldn't appreciate taking a Draco regardless. But he does actually stay in, and unfortunately I missed, which is crucial, and he's actually going to go straight for the Fire Blast. In the Sun, it's going to do just under 50%. So I take some unnecessary damage here, but again, I have no reason not to click Draco at this point. And as you can see, I do a solid 60% to this Fortress, which is fantastic for me. And so basically, what I'm actually going to do is expect him to go for the Rocks. I'm actually going to decide switching out into my Thunderous, get this thing in before Rocks. And based off how much that Draco Meteor did, I do know that a Thunderbolt coming from my Thunderous will be enough to take out his Fortress. And either way, had he switched on out into his Venusaur, I want to bait in his Venusaur. I am actually packing the Hidden Power flying, and I need to get some pre-damage off on his Venusaur to the point where I can take it out. But I don't manage to lure in the Venusaur, and he just sacks off his Fortress at this point. So now he goes out into his Victina, not wanting to take a banded V-Crate under the Sun. I'm actually going to decide to switch on out into my Landorus, as I don't believe my Thunderous can take this Victina out in one hit. So I'm just going into my physical defensive Landorus, and that V-Crate does a whole bunch of damage. A solid 65% I do believe. So here, after the speed drop, knowing full well I was going to fear a potential Earthquake, I'm actually going to decide to go for the Stealth Rocks. He actually switches out into his Crawdaunt, interestingly enough. So pretty odd switch, as I could have easily just gone straight for the Earthquake. Done a massive amount of damage to his Crawdaunt. But nonetheless, this is fine, as I do have a Breloom, which is one of the best answers to Crawdaunt. It's a fantastic check, so I'm just going to go into that just to take the Aqua Jet. And here, it makes a pretty questionable play, I would like to say. He goes out to his Victini as opposed to his Zapdos. I do want to pressure his Zapdos to the point where I can actually Spore with Breloom, so I was trying to lure that thing in and potentially play around its Defog. But after the Bullets here, I do a nice chunk of damage to the Victina, and I'm just going to go out to my Landorus T again here. Primarily his Death Fodder, but he actually opts to go for the U-turn as opposed to the V-Crate. So out comes his Zard now, and like I said, I'm just going to use my Landorus as Death Fodder at this point. Get a free switch into anything I do desire. So after my Landorus goes down, I'm actually going to decide to go out to my Latios again. So here, turn 11, I'm actually going to try and do what I couldn't do on turn 1, and that was land the Draco Meteor and take out this RY. But finally I do, and this thing that should have been gone down turn 1 has finally gone down. So that's great for me, as out comes his Venusaur now. Because of the minus special attack drop, I'm actually going to not be able to take it out with a Side Shock. So I'm going to be forced to switch, going to my Mega Metagross at this point. Mega Metagross, although it does do a decent chunk to his team, it is probably the most expendable thing on my team at this point. The probably only thing I would want to be put asleep, so that's exactly what I go for now. Just leave this thing in as a sleep fodder, as it will be able to outspeed me with the Chlorophyll. And the Sun does fade now the following turn. But here, I actually get a pretty lucky, get a pretty early wake, but I did in fact click Zen Headbutt, trying to take him out. Then the following turn, I get really unlucky and miss the Hammer Arm, as he's going to be able to go for the knockoff now. And the combination of knockoff and the Aqua Jet will be enough to take out my Mega Metagross. So getting luck on the one turn, the turn after, unfortunately getting not so lucky. But like I said, I do have my Breloom and even my Keldeo at this point to just check his Crawdaunt. So I'm just going to out my Keldeo, just go for a Secret Sword. I actually get a crit, which is pretty nice, which is definitely going to help out a lot. But here, basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to get off damage to the point where I can, I'm pretty sure Skull will 2-hit KO it from this range. So I'm expecting to either go for Roost or the Defog here, just to scout. So I'm just going to go straight for the Skull. Like I said, I have no reason to switch at this point. I need to get damage off on this Zapdos, as it actually reveals the Thunder Wave, interestingly enough, which is really unfortunate, as it does mean he's going to be able to go for the Roost the following turn. So he is going to go flat, as I'm just going to go straight for the Skull. But unfortunately I get the Para, which this Para could have potentially been huge, because it does give him a free Defog right now. And his Victini is still a threat. I definitely still need my Rocks. I would have to play around his Victini if he does manage to go for the Defog. So expect him to go for the Defog now. I need to get damage off on this Zapdos to the point where I can take out with the likes of my Thunderous or even my Latios. But he actually opts to go for Thunderbolt. I do manage to live, which is nice, and get off the Scald. Unfortunately, I don't quite get the burn yet, which is really annoying. as he's going to go for a secondary Thunderbolt as opposed to going for a Defog, which looking back at it might actually cost him. So I'm actually thankful he didn't go for the Defog, so I'm just going to go out into my Thundurus now and actually just click Thunderbolt, hoping to take it out or bait in his Venusaur, sorry. Either way is perfect for me, as like I said, after the damage, the crit didn't matter, because after the damage coming from the Thunderbolt, I would have been able to take him out with Hidden Power Flying regardless. So I do manage to lure this in his Venusaur and take it out, which is fantastic for me. He's down to his last 3 now, so out comes his Victina. And because of the rocks, I do know it cannot switch into rocks one more time. So what I'm going to do is just sack my Latios to what presumably would be a V-Crate, but it turns out he's going to decide to lock himself into Zen Headbutt, which works out perfectly for him. So what I'm actually going to do is go into my Breloom, because I do know at the range of HP it's at, I can easily pick it off with a Mach Punch. But he's actually going to decide to make the switch on out into Zapdos here, potentially trying to get off the Defog now. But basically I'm in a perfect position, as if he does decide to go for the Heat Wave and take out my Breloom, I can just go out into my Thundurus. At the range of HP is Zapdos, I can easily pick it off with a Thunderbolt. And after the rocks, I do believe I can live a Life Orb, Adamant, Aqua Jet coming from his Crawdon at 1%. I calc it at, and of course his Victina will go down to the Stealth Rocks. If he chooses to go for the Roost, then I can actually put this Breloom to sleep, play around it. Put his Zapdos to sleep, play around that, start to set up my Breloom. So he does opt to go for the Roost, which is perfect, as I did click Spore. Like I said, it was my safest play. I had no reason not to. And now what I'm actually going to do is I just need to get this Zapdos into the range where I can take it out with my Thundurus, or finally pick it off with my Breloom. So I'm just going to go for that Swords Dance, as he doesn't get the first turn wait, which is fantastic for me. And he's not going to get the second turn wait again, which is great. So I can just go for Bullet Seed and do a substantial amount of damage to his Zapdos, which is fantastic. And at the range of HP it's at, I'm pretty sure a Mach Punch will definitely take it out. So that's exactly what I'm going to go for. Just go for that Mach Punch and pick off the Zapdos, which is perfect now, as Breloom's going to get a little bit of a mini sweep here, as I can just go straight for the Mach Punch now on the Crawdon and pick it off. And his final Pokemon is Victina, which will go down to the Stealth Rocks. So Breloom putting in that late game work. Pretty good battle. I believe my opponent made a few misplays, not actually going for the Defog, but at the same time I would have been able to play around that. I do obviously still have my Thundurus, and my Breloom of course was able to deal with his Zapdos and his Crawdon regardless. So nonetheless, this is a pretty fun battle, and I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and of course subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.